No side that's ever finished 8th should get promoted from a division. Why don't we just start with a knockout then and just play knockout, and then when it goes up, just get rid of league phase.
Tottenham have been so poor over the last... It's very similar to Leicester, as we mentioned, but they've been so poor that you could easily see them drop into the Championship.
And there's some overrated players in there. I'm not naming them.
Welcome back to the Sportsman Untitled, brought to you by Betfred. Today, I've got a big panel with me. I've got Gab, I've got Cal, and of course, Connor on my right-hand side. We're going to be talking all things Championship today. We're going to be diving into the race for automatic promotion, the playoffs, and of course, relegation. We've got to start in one place, of course. QPR's big win over Portsmouth. Gab, talk to me about it.
Well, I think I've been a big admirer of the progress that QPR have made this season. I think that the big thing that I see with other low-budgeted clubs that have maybe struggled with is the level of athleticism in the team, and I think that's something QPR have got spot on. I think there's a real clarity about how they play. They've got pace in wide areas. They're happy to get crossed into the box. They've got a real unit in Richard Kone up top, who's a really imposing physical presence. But there's another striker who caught my eye at the weekend in Ryan Coley, who's been in and around the first team for a couple of years. Obviously scored a couple of goals against Norwich back in the 23-24 campaign, I believe. And it was a bit of a resurgence for him, and he produced 2 lovely strikes. An impressive afternoon. Very impressive.
Richard Kone is a player I absolutely love. Cal, is he the best striker outside the Premier League at the moment in English football?
I don't remember you said that last year. The athleticism side, what you're saying, I completely agree. I think he's built for Prem like that. I think physically he's ready for it. But he's been a bit hot and cold, and I think Burrell's the top goal scorer. He's been a bit more consistent than him. I think I expected a bit more from Kone, really, coming up from Wickham. How good he was then.
I think it changed in terms of the style, and obviously QPR moving forward and so forth. But Portsmouth on the other side, are they too good to go down?
No, I don't think they are. Obviously, offensively, they've had a few problems this year when it comes to injuries. I did think in this game as well, Paul Smith as well, we have to look at some really lovely finishes as well, as along as Cully and obviously Kone as well.
Smythe.
Yeah, I wonder with the teams down there, we've spoken about the calibre before in West Brom and Leicester, you feel like on the day they might have a little bit too much X factor. Portsmouth, on the other hand, you are a little bit concerned about them personally and Blackburn, really. But I do think maybe was the scoreline reflective of the performance? I don't think so. QPR were just absolutely ruthless.
Very clinical going forward. I think with Portsmouth as well, it's going to be about the form at home, right? Fratton Park's going to be big for them if they stay up.
I think so. I think maybe the question mark over Portsmouth, and we were sort of touched on it with QPR, I think Portsmouth haven't added enough athleticism to the team, because I think the higher up the divisions you go, the more important that side is. I think their recruitment in January has helped them. They've added players like Milic Ali, who can give them some pace in certain areas, and that Ibu Adams as well. But I think in general, that's probably an area that they've maybe not done enough of, certainly going back to the summer.
The rubbish up top and all. Portsmouth. That's ultimately what's killing them. I do think it sounds a bit daft after they've just been pummeled by QPR, but I think for the most part they're playing better than a lot of sides around them. They're just not scoring goals. What's Bishop got this year? 2 maybe. The number 9s are not doing enough.
I think that's a big thing, but flipping it to a team that's been scoring a whole host of goals this season, Coventry City, 9 points clear once again. Looking at their form, since they slipped to second place on the 10th of Feb, the Sky Blues have won 7 out of the 8 matches, picking up more points over the side. Is it done and dusted? Are they champions, Connor?
Yeah, feels like it, doesn't it? I think it's shown a lot. Like we've spoken about it before, that when they had the blip, that was a test of character, wasn't it? That was the big test of character, and we have seen teams fold beforehand when they've had that blip at this point of the season. They've come back, and I think in the last 6 games have been the form team in the division. Really impressive win at the weekend. Swansea's not an easy place to go on the Matos either, is it? 3-0 win and relatively comfortable, I thought. And the edge, there's not much competition, is there, at the minute?
No, they could limp to it and still do it, can't they now?
Yeah.
That far in front.
9 points, yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because when Middlesbrough went top of the league, just before they played one another in February, it felt like Middlesbrough were becoming the favourites.
They got 5 on the bounce, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And then I think that result when Coventry produced a really dominant pressing performance against Middlesbrough that Monday night. It seems to have been a really crucial moment in the promotion race because Coventry have gained so much confidence from it, as Dave alluded to, 7 wins in 8. Certainly on Yeka coming into the midfield, and what a difference that's made to Matt Grimes' performances as well. Whereas
Asante been back involved as
for
well.
sure.
So
Whereas you look at the points Middlesbrough have dropped against bottom half opposition, they've not been able to find, and I think we were talking off air, weren't we? Not having that cutting edge up top. I think they're going to pay for not signing a number 9 in January.
Do you think that's what it's going to go down to? Because they missed so many big chances. Alan Brown had 2 really good ones that he should have put away.
Yeah.
Also, Hayden Hackney wasn't playing, which I think is kind of their X factor all over the pitch. When looking at Boro, Cal, do you think they're in a bit of problem, or do you think that the football they're playing at the moment is good enough for them to continue and finish second?
I think they struggled against Leicester sides, because the draw to Charlton, the drew to Oxford, a lot of them bottom sides have struggled with. I don't think they necessarily struggled against Blackburn with that, like creating chances. They're just not scoring. And obviously, going back to it with Coventry and how far in front they are, Middlesbrough are going to play Millwall, they're going to play Ipswich. They're probably better against these sort of sides, but these are going to score goals against you as well. If Middlesbrough can't score, they're in trouble, aren't they, really?
Just to highlight that fact, they've not scored in 10 of their 39 matches in the Championship season, around 26%. On the flip side, Coventry have got the 3rd best ever goals in terms of the point of the season right now, with only Bournemouth and Fulham doing it in different years, more goals. So that is a big, big part of it. Talking about goals, Ipswich Town have struggled with goals this season, but Jack Clark's kind of been maybe that shining light, 3rd top scorer in the Championship this season. Do you think they've got enough, Ipswich, to get to that automatic spot, or is it the playoffs for them?
that really helped them with Ivanovic and Coburn. Ipswich, they've got enough, it feels like, when it comes to that star-studded quality. Philogene been involved a little bit more at the weekend as well. It feels like they're just going to have enough to get over the line, but I'm not sure. I can't give you a definitive answer.
So in terms of the odds, Betfred have got Boro evens to finish top 2, and Ipswich are 11 to 10. Can Millwall get into the top 2?
I think they've got an outside chance. I think when you've got a goalkeeper like Anthony Patterson on the form that he was on at Portman Road with that stunning save from Jack Clark, it really was quite something, wasn't it? I think that gives them a chance. I agree with Connor. I liked that they went 2 up top at Portman Road. I think that's brave. I think when Ivanovic came on at half-time, that made a big difference because he's such a threat to defenders. And what that allows is somebody like Josh Coburn, who's a big physical profile, it allows him to get into those 1v1 duels with opposing defenders. So I think that can be a formula. And you look at the quality of Aziz on the right-hand side, and then Negley brings so much flair as well. I think Millwall are a really nicely balanced team. I think they'll just miss out. I think it'll be Middlesbrough or Ipswich for second. Interesting.
Millwall as well is the counter-attack. Only Coventry have scored more goals from fast breaks this season, which brings us on to Hull City. 3-1 win at the weekend against Rockbottom Sheffield Wednesday. Another goal involvement for Ollie McBurney. 20 goals and assists this season. One of the most underrated players in the league.
Yeah, I think
rated now, actually, because of what he's doing.
Yeah, I think it's taken time for people that he's not played for to appreciate him. Everybody that's played for, I guess Sheffield United has split opinions a little bit, but everybody else loves him. He grafts, and I think when you're a lesser side, like all are, even though they're up in 5th, they've done a really good job, but financially and squad wise, they're nowhere near some of these teams. And like the Portsmouth game, they won 1-0, didn't they? And it's from him running his blood to water, grafting, and he gets a mistake off back rate. And I think people are waking up to that a bit more now. He's a top forward. You'd love him. Anybody would love him at the team.
The one that stands out to me as well is Carl Joseph, because he's a forward that I've always admired for his selflessness. I think he's a very good facilitator of other players because he's sometimes happy to run away from the direction of play and create that space. But he's actually scoring a few goals of his own. And what I like about Hull is they've always got 3 or 4 forwards on the pitch. So even if they're on the back foot in games, whenever they come forward, they can always hurt teams. So I think that's key to why they're up there.
I think one of the issues maybe for them in the playoffs is since the start of March, they've lost to teams in and around them. They've lost to Ipswich, they lost to Millwall. Yes, they've beaten Wrexham home and away, but that could be a problem going forward. But moving on to Southampton, 2-0 win. In terms of what they've done recently, they've been really, really good. You look at the form in the last few games, in the last 9 games, most points in the Championship. Are they a team to be reckoned with in the playoffs if they get to that point?
They had a big loss as well. Obviously, Larin's come in, but Armstrong went.
Yes.
11 goals in the Champ when he went. So it's really impressive what they've been able to do. I know they've got a lot of resources, but we've spoken on the Taylor Albert Bellis, another brilliant ball in through the weekend. Excellent ball. Shea Charles appears to be coming into it as well, another worldie goal at the weekend. I just think they're hitting form at the right time. We always said Southampton were going to be up there, but I didn't know whether or not they were going to miss out this season just because it's taken them time to adjust, but they've just got quality and abundance everywhere. I think they're going to finish in the top 6.
It's not an easy game, that either. Oxford at minute, like we saw with Middlesbrough, you're trying to break someone down that's going to come and play for a point.
Yeah.
And that's got its own challenges with it. But they were best side comfortably, weren't they?
It's the spine of the team as well. Just having Flynn Downs in there as well.
It's just like top quality.
Yeah, there's some young lads in there, but they're really experienced now. They've got some games under the belt for what seems a young squad.
Yeah.
And Kel Tonderek has been fantastic since he's taken charge, right?
Yeah, it's been really good.
Tell us a bit more, mate.
Well, apparently, we're assistant for Barnsley under Struber. I can't even remember that. But Struber, I do think footballing-wise, that's best football I've seen Barnsley play for probably my life. So how much rate is from Struber and Eckert, I don't really know. They're obviously both doing well at their own team. Bristol City in 16th. Never mind, sorry. God, they've fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, they have dropped off a little bit. But Gab, moving on to Wrexham, a very, very, very good result against Sheffield United, who struggled in front of goal. The Bamford miss, which you've seen a few times, used to that type of thing.
Yeah.
A great ball from Harry Burrows to come in, but I'm always concerned when teams don't deal with wing backs when you're playing a big side, Gabby, and when Issa Kabore this week was fantastic, and there was no pressure on him.
Yeah, I think Kabore's definitely been one of Wrexham's top 3 players this season. I think Windass I've been very impressed with because the way that Wrexham play, it is a lot of pumping it long, whether that's to Kiefer Moore or to Sam Smith when Moore's absent. And Windass has still been able to find ways of standing out individualistically. So I think it's been a fantastic individual campaign from him. Listen, well done to Phil Parkinson, because I didn't think Wrexham would be in the playoff conversation this season.
I didn't think they were. I thought Sheffield United were the miles better team.
Yeah,
I thought they were a much better team. They dug in that second half, Wrexham, and they're just difficult to beat.
Well, it's the classic Wrexham goal, isn't it? Like, pump the ball into the channel, ball goes into the box, they score. Ball goes wide, crosses into the box. But I think Callum Doyle's really impressed me in recent weeks. Yeah. His defensive contributions were fantastic against Sheffield United. 14, 8 clearances, 4 interceptions, 6 ball recoveries. He's a player that's really stepped up in the back 3.
He is top drawing. Yeah. He is a really good centre-half.
Well, just to add to that as well, I think he could be a really nice sort of left-sided defender profile for the Premier League, because how at Premier League level they like left backs who can invert into midfield or wide centre half so you can step in or overload. I think Callum Doyle has that universality.
Doing a bit of everything, can't he?
Yeah, exactly.
He's got that about him.
For sure.
Cracking centre half him.
Really good centre half. We are going to be predicting our league finishes at the end of the show. But in terms of the top 6 right now, are there any teams that you think are going to sneak in? I've got 2.
If you're looking at it right now, obviously Wrexham are out of it, aren't they?
Wrexham are out of it, so obviously you expect them to get in?
I go, I think Hull are going to drop, Southampton 5th, Wrexham 6th.
Okay, very nice. What about Derby County? Love their front 4. I think there's a lot of goals in that. Look, they've got Agyman, Carlton Morris up front, 10 goals apiece. Ryan Brewster scored the winner against your Birmingham City this week. Smodic scored the winner against Portsmouth. Berreton Diaz opening goals against Blackburn and Wednesday. There's so much goal-scoring quality there. Surely they've got an outside shot.
They're a good side, but I don't know if the sides in front of them are just going to be too hard to catch. Like, you've got 8 games left, something like that. There's not many left now. 9 games, 6. I don't even know. A few games left.
7. 7 games left.
And you're not looking at Wrexham and Southampton really and thinking they're going to lose a lot of games.
No, you're not.
Doesn't really happen, does it?
That being said, Norwich City are the form side in the division.
Dave, come off it, man.
Same thing.
They've got a few games against the likes of Hull and teams that are above them. Can they do it?
You've got to win every game.
Should have sacked Manning 3 or 4 games before.
And then they would have a chance to get in.
Then they'd have got in.
Because you think they've probably got to win every single game, so they've got 21 points.
Trouble you got, Dave, is if Southampton get to 77 points, that sets the bar so high for someone like Norwich, who are only on 54. So, I mean, you are looking at like something incredible in terms of run.
It's winning every single game.
It is winning every game.
Yeah.
They've got Portsmouth, Millwall, Ipswich, Bristol City, Derby, Swansea and Hull. So they are playing teams in and around them, but they've got 33 points from the last 15 games. That's the best in the league.
I tell you what, though, they're an outside shout for next season.
It's
momentum.
Yeah, for sure. Really is momentum. So shall we move on to kind of a bit of a talking point here? Something that I quite like. I am actually enjoying the idea of 8 teams in the playoffs. I think at the end of the season, you could sneak into that. You could go on a good run and you could be in the Premier League.
It completely undermines the sporting meritocracy, Dave, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's fair that you can be mid-table for pretty much the whole season and win a couple of games at the end of the season and have a shout at the Premier League. Same like Sheffield United finished third last season, having accumulated 92 points. I don't think it's fair that a team can finish 8th and be in the same.
Is it Italy where if you finish so many points in front of the bottom playoff side that you get promoted automatically?
I think there's in the
Somewhat
when
like
you drop
that.
down, yeah.
So like Sheffield United last season, if it were like that, Sheffield United had gone up instead and they would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I just think it's a bit naff. It undermines league a bit.
You've got some good games, obviously, 8th versus 5th, 6th versus 7th.
Yeah.
It does allow some really good competitive matches.
Good for entertainment
the playoffs
standpoint,
are always
yeah.
brilliant. Like, I love jumping into the playoffs and really getting involved with that part of the season. I understand what you're saying, but still, 46 games, you finished 8th in the league. It's not like you've been that horrendous.
But what about the teams that finish 5th and 6th that then have to play 3 games, win 3 games instead of 2?
That's a fair point, but then...
What about Norwich, who are the form team in the division right now and could finish 8th?
But they deserve to be out of the Premier League equation because of how useless they were in the first 15
I'm gonna
games.
say, at what point does it stop? Do you know what I mean? Will we change it again?
It feasibly could be extended, couldn't it?
I think so. What makes football great is that it's bloody hard to be successful.
Yeah.
And because you've got to be good over a whole season to achieve what you want to. And that's what's great. And so the drama at the end of the season in April and May and everything's on the line, that's because of the seriousness of the competition that's been building up for 10 months. And I think if you undermine it just for that bit, it actually undermines the whole competition.
But would it be better as a playoff stat truth? And I'm not just neutralising Watford here, but let's just say for argument's sake, because Norwich are like top of the form table and have been for a while, and Derby are unlucky not to be in the conversation anyway. If you throw Norwich and Derby into this playoff equation, wouldn't that make the playoff conversation way more exciting this season?
Absolutely.
But
That
what
is
team
true.
that's finished 8th has ever deserved to go up? None.
Well,
No side that's ever finished 8th should get promoted from a division. I don't think.
well, what if they prove it in a playoff conversation? What if they prove it?
Well, why don't we just start with a knockout then and just play knockout and then winner goes up? Just get rid of league phase.
Well, all right. Let's do that.
So what we're doing is that we're actually getting rid of the 46 game season and we're just having a straight out shootout. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. But I think it's an idea that should be maybe explored, and I think they should test it. I don't think it's something that they should set it in stone and then leave that. They should, over the few seasons, maybe see how it works. And like, as you say, and if teams don't deserve to go up,
It's all money, though, isn't it? It's not about the sporting
integrity.
it's just all about money, isn't it? It's just broadcasting rights, etc.
But it would make it more exciting for
Yeah,
neutrals like myself.
from an entertainment standpoint, I
Especially
agree
those
with
who
it.
don't watch the Championship. I think if you
Yeah.
come,
It would bring people in and fans in, which is not a bad thing for the game.
Yeah.
You
You
want
can
the money to
understand why
trickle down.
every team's voted for it apart from Tranmere, aren't they? I think
Yeah.
every single team's voted it. You can understand why, because it's just a gamble.
But it does give you the opportunity, right? It's like
Yeah,
you're
of
saying,
course,
Gab,
yeah.
if you've been awful for the first 15 games and then you do start to improve and whatever, I suppose it makes the season more important that you've just got to have the full season. You can't have bad spells. Obviously, Preston started this season so well.
Yeah.
They've dropped off.
It means
But
you've
you
got more to
just
play
need
for as
push
well,
through.
doesn't
Yeah,
it?
more to play for. And
be good for viewing as well, wouldn't it? If Wrexham missed out, but then they got in this playoff conversation.
exactly.
Big views.
It'd be very, very exciting. But anyway, let's move on to our final table predictions. So we're going to start with the top 2. Cal, who's going up as champions? Who's finishing second?
Coventry top. I've said this for a while. I'm not changing my mind. Millwall second.
Millwall. I love that. Millwall second.
Millwall.
Gab?
Coventry top, Ipswich second.
Connor?
Coventry top, Millwall second.
Nice.
I can't believe nobody has said Middlesbrough.
Good lad.
I'm going to go Middlesbrough second, Coventry top. I just think they've got enough quality. They created so many opportunities. Yes, they've not been taken, but they've been playing great football.
Literally don't matter.
Right, let's move to the top 6, the playoffs. Let's focus on that now. So there's a lot of teams in there that we've spoken about today that could potentially sneak in. But Gab, we're going to start with you. Who makes the playoffs?
Well, obviously, I think Middlesbrough and Millwall will be in there as a starting point. I think mathematically, Hull City have put themselves in a great position. And I think Southampton are going to round off.
So you're leaving Wrexham out? You won't be popular in the comments.
I know, yeah. I was hoping that wouldn't come out.
Cal?
Ipswich 3rd, Middlesbrough 4th, Southampton 5th, Wrexham 7th, 6th even. I think Hull will drop out. Worry for him.
Big. Connor?
Cov, Millwall, Ipswich, Boro, Southampton, Wrexham.
I'm going to go Ipswich, Millwall, Southampton, Wrexham. I think Hull City might as well fall out. But then I'm going to change that. I'm going to get Norwich City 6th. Go for it.
Look at the
Go for it.
Look at
committed.
Just look at the form there, and it's quite it's logic ridden here. Why you can look at Hull and think, especially with the chasing pack and the teams in and around, they might falter a little bit there.
So I'm going to take Wrexham out of my top 6 as well.
Norwich in there.
Norwich are going to sneak in.
9 points behind.
9 points, but they're going to do it. They're going to absolutely do it.
There's your clip, guys.
There you go. Now moving on to relegation. Oxford United, Leicester City, Portsmouth, West Brom, probably up to Blackburn, who I would maybe rule out of that. Cal, who's going down?
I think this is hardest thing.
This is harder, isn't it?
Leicester 23rd, Blackburn at 22nd.
Gab?
Oxford 23rd, Portsmouth 22nd.
No, that's boring. No. Oh, no. It's hard, this.
Blackburn 23rd, Pompey 22nd.
Big. So you all think West Brom have done enough in the last few games to stay up?
Definitely look better.
They've got some graft about them now. They've got some oomph.
And I thought they were good against Charlton, good against Hull.
8 points from 4 as well. So
Yeah, that's good going there.
They've not conceded in the last 2.
Yeah.
Are there teams, do you think, that could potentially turn this around the next season, be top half of the league, or are you seeing there's still some development there? Because the managerial changes they made this season have been pretty woeful.
Gone 2 up top now, haven't they? Hegabo and Madja.
And when you're that big, you're going to spend some money at somewhere, aren't you? It's not like it's a little side that's like scraping out. Right? West Brom are a big club. You'd expect them to spend some brass.
It's a good team. Got a good team. Just been drastically underperforming. I think it's a top half champ side.
It's just maybe.
Yeah.
And there's some overrated players in there. I'm not naming them.
Absolutely terrible. So West Brom, I think we're staying up. I think Blackburn are definitely staying up as well. I think they do very well against the bigger sides. You've got to beat the teams in and around you, but the performances that they've had in recent weeks have been a lot better.
Yeah, they've got Mohita as well, who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Alabiosu as well as a real athlete down the right-hand side. So some good players there, I think.
Jorgensen a couple in his last 2 as well.
We've got a tough run in them.
Blackburn do.
Yeah.
And it's
got some tough games.
Quality-wise, when I've watched Blackburn, I'm not sold on them staying up at all. It's not sold on it.
Not convinced. And then Portsmouth, who we've kind of mentioned before.
Pompey's hard. It's a hard
I think that's the hardest one to call, isn't it? Because it could, like you're saying, if one of their strikers picks up, form end of the season, it's
a big if though, isn't it now?
Said it all season, haven't we?
Yeah, it's a big. You can't just keep banging on about that after 38 games. But I do think they're playing well. But if they're not scoring, I can understand why you've all put it. I think it's more that I hope they deserve to stop up. I think Portsmouth. I think that's what I'm going with.
And Oxford don't. Obviously lost 2-0 away against Southampton. Southampton, one of the form teams in the league with Norwich City, ended a 4-match unbeaten run. They're not good enough to stay up.
Well, I really like Matt Bloomfield and Mike Dodds as a managerial pairing, and I think they've made a positive impact.
They have massively,
But I think that there's a few players in that team that, in terms of either athleticism or ability for the level, are just a notch below. And I think ultimately that's going to... What I would say, though, is I would probably rather be in the Oxford dressing room than in the Leicester dressing room, because Leicester have some of those cultural issues that may come a cropper. But I'm wondering if Leicester, at some point, Gary Rowett's going to get his hands on those players and they'll do something similar to West Brom.
We've been saying that for a while, haven't we? We've been saying that these Leicester players are good enough that obviously Gary Rowett's come in, is going to be, manager to get them out of this position. The quality they've got is ridiculous.
Yeah, they've got some top players. I don't look at them and think they're going to win many, though. I don't think they go for it enough.
It's Fatu and Jordan James keep them up.
Yeah. They're good.
The problem is, it's like there's many teams in this division, they haven't got a 9. Patson Daka is nowhere near it, and neither is Ayew. That's the issue. They don't have a 9. I think if they had a 9, they wouldn't even be in this conversation.
But really, even like someone like Fatwa, right? We spoke about Jack Clark before and Ipswich, and obviously they are a much better side. Yeah. But Fatwa is a very, 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 very good player.
Unbelievable.
At the start of the season, we were all talking about him being one of the Championship players of the season.
Yeah.
surely there is enough there. You know, in terms of the weekend, they absolutely peppered Watford's goal. They put an XG up of about 1.52, 7 saves made by the Watford goalkeeper. It's a decent point, but they do need to start winning games of football.
They've got no to home either. Like, there's no atmosphere. You can almost feel the crowd. You feel how nervous it is. Compare that to Portsmouth. Even if they're not playing that well, you know, crowd's going to be up for it. If we might just give Portsmouth an edge over Leicester the last few games.
I just think Leicester got too much, too stale. But it's going to be a tough one for them because they've got to turn around an entire season of them underperforming, like a Tottenham Hotspur, right?
It's like Tottenham.
It's exactly the same thing where you've got all these good players, none of them performing, and now you're in a position where with 39 games and obviously with the points deduction, they're looking pretty poor in that situation. I think in terms of like Blackburn I mentioned before, I think they'll probably be okay. If you look at the numbers since Michael O'Neill's appointment, they're about 12th in the league, so it's
pretty good.
It's better than what it was.
Yeah, I think when you look at maybe the teams down there, I always feel like the quality rises towards the back end of the season. Fatu won the penalty, didn't he, at the week? I don't know why he didn't take it. You know, Patson Daka steps up. He also missed another sitter in the game as well. I know what Carl's saying in terms of the atmosphere. I just wonder what I'd rather have in this position, that X factor quality or good atmosphere.
I really think quality goes out at window when you're in a relegation scrap at end. I really do.
It can't, because then you look at West Brom and the quality's come to the fore the last couple of games.
I think he's gone from his characters, hasn't he? He did that interview where we were like, these boys are better start running or they're all going, sort of thing. He's proper old school way, and then maybe a rocket top back end is sort of what you need.
Yeah.
Like, just speaking, obviously it's easy for me to do this as a Barnsley fan, but we used to finish 4th bottom every year. We probably had worst squad in division every year, and near end they always kick on because you're fighting for your wages. Leicester aren't. If there's no relegation release clauses, there's no jeopardy for them, these Leicester players. It's very Tottenham.
What happens to them if they drop down with those players again that nobody's going to want, bar a handful of them?
They're in massive trouble
because they've not performed. They've literally not performed. Why would you take any players from Leicester City this season when they've been so bad?
I agree with you, but they're still going to pick the wage up.
I still think they'll make big money. I still think they could make big money off Fatu and Jordan James, which I don't know what.
James on loan, isn't he?
Is he on loan?
He's on loan from Rennes.
Okay, there you go then. Yeah, but I think Fatu, I think they'll make some decent money off him. But Mavididi as well, European club maybe coming in for him.
Massively underperformed again this season. Being one of the best players in the Championship a few years ago,
Monga as well, probably going to go for a decent amount of money. Their defence is shocking. The defence is absolutely appalling. But yeah.
You might get a Wednesday situation if they go down, Leicester.
Yeah, they're in trouble. They're in big, big trouble, I think, if they go.
There has to be a point, though, where it stops, right?
Yeah.
Because this rot's been going from... How many years has it been going now? Like, it's been poor.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued as well how Rowett's going to manage some of those egos in the dressing room, because when he went to Stoke, that was maybe one of the things that he struggled with. Whereas if you look at where he's done well, Birmingham City, Millwall...
Had the buy-in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And clubs that didn't necessarily have a huge amount of money, but he was able to create a certain culture. I think it could be tough to do that at Leicester. Not long to create that.
7 games to go. It's going to be big for them. Hard fixtures coming up as well. But there you have it. Any other stories you guys want to talk about or touch on? Something that's grabbed your attention? Player performances?
Well, I'm intrigued by Swansea's left side of Timon.
It is great.
Yeah, Timon, Yum Ji-sun and Melka Vidal. I think there's a nice sort of combination that can create some chances. So
I think you look at the Swansea, if they get their recruitment right with the manager next season, could be one of the teams. Similar, obviously, with Norwich City, they get promoted this year anyway, but they'll be around there.
It depends how much they get for Vipotnik, doesn't it? I know he signed a new contract, but you'd imagine there's a release clause in there. Otherwise, why would he have signed it?
But then for him, another season at Swansea, getting promoted for development and for playing game time. We've seen so many forwards and strikers move to the Premier League or around Europe's top 5 leagues and them not kind of kick on, whereas right now they're playing good football, he's in the right team, they're creating chances for him. Would there not be an argument for him to stick around for one more season?
Maybe. I think you're probably going to get a situation where one of the big dogs comes down and probably takes a punt on him. Yeah. I don't think, you three might disagree, I don't think Vipotnik's Premier League level just yet.
Might be a Wolves or somebody.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, Burnley or something like that. But
or a Tottenham Hotspur.
Or a Tottenham Hotspur, yeah. I think the interesting we're looking at the table at the minute as well is Sheffield United. They've fizzled out a little bit now, and obviously a lot of Sheffield United fans will be looking at next season, and obviously there's a lot of teams in and around there. We're building quite a bit of momentum. Wonder how it's going to be kind of looked upon, towards the back end of the season. I think they need to pick it up a little bit, don't they? But one win in 5.
But they should be another team where they recruit it well, and the summer and the Championship's going to be super competitive, especially if we do see the likes of Tottenham or Forest or West Ham go down.
Yeah.
Because Tottenham have been so poor over the last. It's very similar to Leicester, as we mentioned, but they've been so poor that you could easily see them drop into the Championship.
Yeah, I know that would be fascinating to see a club with like a 9-figure playing budget in the Championship next season. That would be mad. I think just going back to Sheffield United, really intrigued to see how the politics go down between Chris Wilder and the board.
Yeah,
because that hasn't really been an issue in season since he's come back because he's just been focusing on the team. But in the summer, this board want it to go down this AI model and find random players from Bulgaria and bring them in, and Chris Wilder's like, no, I've got these 5 Championship players, proven experience, 28-year-olds.
It's the last year of parachute perms as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so how's that going to go? It's one thing Wilder coaching the players and being with the fans where he's very popular, but with the ownership, how's that dynamic going to go down? I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah, and that's going to be really, really interesting next season. I think it's going to be a big year for the Championship. Isn't it? There's so many teams that could be competitive, and especially with the rest of the teams dropping down for the Premier League, it's going to be really big.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, I mean, just next season anyway, you touched on it there, just Spurs being in the Championship is just, if it does happen, it's, you can't process it, can you? You cannot process that ever happening.
And also Lincoln City coming up as well.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by them being in the Championship for the first time since the 1960s. So that'll be a fantastic occasion.
How many of that Tottenham team do you reckon go?
A lot.
Yeah, but then
Wages.
they should go, right? Like, there's so many players that have underperformed for Tottenham this season. I think the good thing that Tottenham have got is that academy is very, very good at the moment. They've got some really good young players coming through. That a season in the Championship, we've seen it develop so many good, creative, attacking players. Even someone like James Maddison that is at Spurs right now. It does remind me a lot of that Juventus team that got relegated to Serie B. Obviously, they didn't go down from being rubbish.
And Buffon,
for other reasons.
Buffon, I think the whole lot stuck around, didn't they?
They did, yeah. Like it was one of those things where could you see any of those Tottenham players go, look, we've put the club into this mess. We're in the Championship.
I think that's why they're going down anyway. Similar to Leicester, I think big egos.
I could see like
Archie
players
Graham,
thinking a bit bigger than players like that sticking around.
The young ones, the younger ones, but the big hitters like Richarlison and Van der Ven and Romero, no chance. I think they all go.
They definitely go, but I do think that there could be a good young core in
there.
If they can keep enough of those young players. Archie Gray was so good at Leeds, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. I think it was against Atletico Madrid as well, wasn't he? Centre midfield. But then obviously they got Wilson Odebear as well, players like that. So Jet Spence, is he going to move on? I don't know.
Do you think they'd get a chance of getting Pochettino for the Championship? Or
Jesus,
that would be amazing. That's got to be record breaking, right?
There needs to be some like social experiment with Spurs in the Championship, don't there? I mean, Pochettino in the Championship with
it would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
It'd be absolutely ridiculous. And I think you look at what they could do. It might not be a bad reset for them. Obviously, financially, it's not going to be good.
We've seen Rafa Benitez manage at that level before with Newcastle, so you never know.
I think it would be the best team at that level that we've ever seen.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, surely the financial side of it, though, it's going to knock them back years. And it just 1 year out, you're losing out on hundreds of millions of pounds. It's not going to be the same extent to like Leeds at times because they come down and what were it like 20 odd year you were down there. But Tottenham, you'd expect to go straight back up. But
they were yo-yo, weren't they? If they go down, they come straight back up.
You can't see them going up and then just. I know they've done it last year as well. But you can't see them going up and then be like 15 for years.
It's like when everyone says, everyone will want to go to the stadium, it'll be the cup final. I think with the resources they have, Spurs will be able to deal with that.
Yeah, it's all right saying that against someone like Wolves or something, but Tottenham, come on.
Like Tottenham against Preston, Preston are going to give
you're
them a
getting
tough
battered.
game.
They'll have a great laugh, then Tottenham fans.
It's going to be really, really good. But that's all we've got time for today on the Sportsman Untitled, brought to you by Betfred. Thanks for joining us today. And, of course, get into the comments below your top 2, your top 6, and, of course, who's going to get relegated. Do you agree with me or not? We'll see you next time.